Hey, it's not okay. You will not believe what some people say. Up is down, the sky is on the ground. Shoot you in the back is the name of a town somewhere. Somewhere in America. Keep your eyes wide open. Keep your heart wide open. Keep your eyes wide open so you can really see it. Every day, every lie they say looks like a portrait of Dorian Gray. Maybe white, maybe black, but you can kiss my alternative fact.
I'm excited to have with me as my guest world-renowned musician David Sancious. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014. He was original member of Bruce Springsteen on E Street Band, and he toured and performed with Sting, Seal, Eric Clapton, to name a few. And he's here today to talk about his new album, his 10th album, Eyes Wide Open. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so how are you? You're in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, I'm in Hawaii. I'm on the island of Kauai, which is the smallest, most remote, most beautiful island in the whole chain. So that's where I am. Yeah.
So so you've been there since January, is that right?
My wife and I relocated here in January. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I've been
Wow.
living in Woodstock for many, many years. I'm about 30 years or so in Woodstock. And I finally felt it was time for me to not be in Woodstock anymore and make this move, which I'm really behind the curve on doing. I've wanted to come here since the late 90s, really. But it
Yeah.
just took time to work it out.
Well, it's never too late, right? You're here,
No.
you're there, and yes.
No.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations on your move, and also congratulations on your new album, Eyes Wide Open. I mean, from my understanding, you wrote the lyrics, right? And the music too, and everything. Is this your first solo album that you've done everything, basically?
No, it's not the first one where I've done everything. I mean, most of my albums are either sort of based around a trio or a quartet or me and like other musicians. But it's the first album where I'm doing all the singing, certainly. And I used to always write, even when the band Tone was together. I wrote all the music for that, the music and the lyrics. But I always got another singer because at that time I didn't think I was singing well enough. There were other people who could do it better. And so, like I got Alex Lidgertwood, fantastic Scottish singer for Tone, and a few other things. But I've been working on my singing since the late 90s when I worked with Seal for about 3 years in the late 90s. And he really inspired me to, just get it together and gave me some pointers, had a few lessons with his vocal coach. And then I came home and I just started working on it seriously, practicing, just like you practice piano, you practice your vocal technique and stuff. So, since that time, I've been working on it a lot and I got all the confidence I need and I really enjoy it now. And I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun doing the vocals on this album. It was great.
That's wonderful. And your album is In the Middle of the Night. I love that song. And tell us, actually, I like to go back. Tell us the process of the album. Like, how did it all come together?
Well, it's a collection of, it spans a bit of time, actually. It spans the original track for the song War in Heaven. That was recorded with myself and Vinnie Colaiuta in Woodstock, and that had to be like 91, winter of 91. It was on a break on a Sting tour. I think we had come home from doing Soul Cages, and we got together, and that was one of the first things I did after I put the studio together. But then my kind of work like that has always gone on in between projects, in between me touring or recording someone else. Whenever I can record at home, that's what I do. And then I come back and catalog it, start working on it. So it covers everything from that time up until November of last year. And each song kind of has its own story about, when it got started. I didn't start it as like one block of music, like saying, I always tell people that the impetus to finish this thing happened with the 2016 election. When Donald Trump won the presidency, that really just, I had to do something. I had to do my part to say something. And it was a big push for me to finish the record and get it out and say what I wanted to say about things, about society, about life, about whatever. And but it wasn't started as like I have an idea, like I want to write a protest album and like here I go. I'm going to start on Monday and I'll be done 2 months from now. It really wasn't that. They're just different things called from different time periods. Some of it is very recent. In the Middle of the Night is a true story. That's a song about yours truly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was maybe February of last year. What are we at, 2020? I'm going to say like early February of 2019. I had done a project in Cuba with some musicians, Dennis Chambers and Jeff Berlin and Osnoy. And I got back from that and I just had a lot of time. Things were not really going too well. It was a very challenging time financially for me, physically for me. There were all kinds of things going on. And I literally woke up in the middle of the night and on one elbow, you're up in bed, but you're not sitting up. I'm just kind of leaning on one elbow in the bed and just trying to figure out like what is going to happen. How is all this going to come together? How am I going to get everything I need to be okay? And what does it mean to be okay in the first place? I mean, it's all so challenging. And that next morning, middle of the night, okay, boom, I try and go back to sleep. I get up, go about my business, went into town, went to the market to get some food, did what I did. I came back. I sat down in the studio and I turned on this one particular keyboard that I like a lot. And it was almost like the first sound that I sort of touched to start playing something. The song just kind of came out, actually. I'm being a bit long-winded about it, but what really happened was once I sat down that afternoon to like express something, it just flowed out like crazy. Even the lyrics, the first 4 lines of lyric, that's what just came out, improvised, and then I refined it later on and everything. And even musically, the first chord sequence, that's like, most of it just was there. It was like pouring out of a pitcher into a glass of water. At 5 o'clock in the morning, man, can't sleep. How's this gonna happen? Can't believe I'm in this situation. All this mathematics, I can't make it work. Brother needs a job. Damn. Come on. Oh, woe is we. Such a strange society. Bound my head and bend my knee. In the middle of the night, I don't sleep so well. Refugees and immigrants, politicians and presidents, making laws that make no sense. but that's a real recent song. The song "If" is also recent,
Mm.
and you know that came from a combination. I mean, we see what's going on in America and elsewhere, but you know, the focus on racial strife and injustice and the kickback and how people are just fed up all over the world. But another story that doesn't get talked about as much, and it will be soon, is the fact that due to climate change, due to war zones, due to all kinds of things that are not under any particular person's control, many, many people have to flee where they live. They
Mm.
can't live there anymore. They can't farm there anymore, either because there's been a drought for the last 6 years, like places in Colombia, in South America, or there's a war zone that you're running for your life from, like places in Africa, you know, and in Syria. All these things add up to a movement of people. The livable part of planet Earth is shrinking,
Mm.
shrinking for different reasons. So we're now confronted where people have to deal with their fellow human beings, and everyone doesn't seem to be ready to, in a way that's going to help society deal. You know, first of all, everyone doesn't consider someone who doesn't look and sound and speak and smell like them a fellow human being. This is what has to change. The problem with our society is basically it's spiritual. And
Mm.
spiritual, and then it's also fear. There's so much fear-driven decisions and action and speech in our world. And people have to recognize it, see it for what it is, and decide to give it up. Because we're going to have to decide to live together in peace as fellow human beings, or it's just going to be like some horrible science fiction movie down here,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, and you mentioned spiritual. It's like love, right? You know, you show the love, but you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. You know, we all have to live together, and it is your album is so it's resonates such a powerful story. Like there's news bites in there too, right? Like
Yeah,
the protests in
yeah.
Hong Kong, right? I mean, it's beyond unique. It's like you are telling what has happened or has happened. And you know, I just think it's just a powerful album, if I may say. So there's 4 vocals, 4 instrumental, correct,
Yeah,
David?
yeah, that's right.
And the one I like is Urban Psalm 3.
Yes.
uh, that's with news bites, so can you tell us about that one?
Yeah. I somewhere in the process of finishing the arrangement of this for the album, for these songs, I got the idea. It might have started with Eyes Wide Open. I tend to get up, and I'm an early riser. I'm up by like 5 o'clock almost every day.
Wow.
And one of the first things I do is I tend to watch news from around the world. I'm kind of like a news hound. I've just been that way all my life. And I watch not only what's going on domestically in America, but I watch news from England, France, Germany, Italy, Africa, yeah, Asia, you know, all over. And I was watching this bit of film about the democracy protests in Hong Kong, right? That don't go on anymore because they've clamped down. And I was watching it on YouTube, and then the audio of it was so compelling. These people were like really running through the streets for their lives, running from the very brutal crackdown. And they're singing these protest songs and anthems and everything. And I thought, you know, that's a universal thing. If you listen to that until you hear people singing in in an Asian language, that could be anywhere, you know. But what's happening is that people, in other words, what's happening in other parts of the world is going to happen or is happening to us as well in
Hmm.
America. But to the idea that we should think that we're immune from the kind of intense crackdown to where the people of Hong Kong now have to hold up a white piece of paper. This is what they're reduced to as protests. You know,
Hmm.
this is it. I don't know if you've seen that. This is how the democracy, the pro-democracy activists and people have to protest their oppression by the Chinese Communist government. Otherwise, there's entire songs that can't be sung anymore. You know, pro-democracy songs, songs pro-Hong Kong, they can now just come and get you, knock, knock, knock on your door, and take you away, deport you to mainland China, and you'll never be seen again, put you in jail forever. The same kind of nonsense is happening here, and I don't mean to go on too much. I hear the news yesterday, the Attorney General of the United States, William Barr, is suggesting that peaceful protesters now be identified as domestic terrorists and be charged with sedition. This is insane. It's the groundwork for that very same kind of thing. We've already had in Portland, Oregon, what's the deal with a black van coming up unmarked, people getting out who aren't identified as police officers and taking people away to who knows where. This is happening in America already. It's happening big time in Hong Kong and in Belarus. Do you see what's going on in Belarus? It's horrible. But the people are not giving up. But I mean, we see the roots of that happening in our country. We're only like one step away from it. We have the president who wants to identify peaceful protesters as thugs and rioters, completely dismissing the context of the riot, right? It's going to blanket identify. If you're out in the street, you're a domestic terrorist, and we've already had people picked up and put in vans by unmarked officers. We absolutely have to win this election. We have to remove Donald Trump from office. And we have to remove the people like William Barr and Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, all these people who have forgotten what it means to be American, who have decided that they don't care about the law. They care about their own political and self-interest above the safety and security and the stability of the democracy of the United States of America.
Yes, like COVID-19 was, yes.
Can you believe this is, God bless Bob Woodward. I mean, he's got him dead to rights out of his own insane mouth, confessing, it's really, I hate this word, it's been used so much, it's unprecedented, but it is.
Yes. David, do you have a favorite song on the album, or you like them all for different reasons?
Yeah, I would say that. That's the real answer. I go back and forth between what I'm listening to more than ever, and I try not to listen to it too much, all the time now, because I go in the process of finishing a project like that. You will not believe how much you have to listen to it inside out from all angles. Then there's this great period when it's done and it's an actual thing, and then you're listening in the car and you're going crazy. So the one I'm listening to more than the others right now is If. Yeah. And that's the one about people running for their lives and, leaving war zones and floods and fires and everything.
Yes. And what has the feedback been like?
About the music?
Yeah.
It's been incredible. It's been really incredible. Very positive, very positive.
Right.
People like yourself are sort of seeing the sort of bigger picture in it, and how unfortunately relevant it is. But it's been incredibly positive. I'm very happy about it.
Yes. And
Whatever
I mean,
attention it's getting.
and to purchase the album, go to your website, and it's available everywhere, like on social, right? So
It is. Well, the thing where it's not supposed to be available is we found that someone's posted it on YouTube without permission. It's not it's not supposed to be there right now, but it is on the other sites. It's on Apple Music, it's on Amazon, it's on Bandcamp, and it's on a site called The Orchard, Headstrong Media. It's on multiple streaming sites. Yeah. So we're trying to deal with having it not be on YouTube for free just yet.
Yeah. So what is coming up for you? Any new projects?
Well, there's a couple of projects that got put on hold because of this whole, COVID, we can't go anywhere situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be on tour in Europe right now, actually, with an Italian singer named Zucchero, who I've worked with for many years. But that's totally off now. And I don't know when the kind of scale of projects that we normally would do are going to be able again, because we can't mount a concert tour, until you can fly from country to country without a quarantine. Mm-hmm. And until the United States is actually banned from people's airspace. You can't just come into any country right now because of the situation that we have over here in our country. You sort of can't just get up and go anywhere like you can. So I don't know. It depends on other industries coming back. At first, it's going to depend on the airline industry coming back,
Yes.
which won't come back until the quarantine situation is over. And so it's like a domino effect. But I think technically, realistically, I don't see much of anything happening for the rest of this year. And maybe, oh God, maybe it's the
Yeah.
middle of next year, people can begin to sort of try and restructure things. But it's probably going to be like 2022 until things really open up and people feel safe sitting in theaters and stadiums, and concert halls.
Well, thank you, David. And, healing to you with your
Okay.
trigger finger, right?
Good finger, yeah.
Yes. So, okay. So thanks again and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, you too. At 5 o'clock in the morning, man. Can't sleep. How's this gonna happen? Can't believe I'm in this situation. All this mathematics, I can't make it work. Brother needs a job. Damn. Come on. Oh, woe is we. Such a strange society. I bound my head and bent my knee. In the middle of the night, I don't sleep so well. Refugees and immigrants, politicians and presidents, making laws that make no sense. In the middle of the night, we don't sleep